For the Ward Brothers Intermediate Football Championship final between Éire Óg and Strokestown, exclusively live here on Clubber TV. Well, it's a game that we're really very much looking forward to. The rain of the last 12 hours in the Athlone area has thankfully cleared, and we have beautiful sunshine, perfect conditions, and the pitch looking in pristine condition as it is as always here in Kiltoom. Éire Óg, of course, managed by Brendan Green, last won the Intermediate Championship title in 1993. 32 years the famine has been ongoing in the Loughlin, Lissacull and Gurthagany area. I don't think any adult football team in Roscommon has gone longer without winning a championship. But of course they've been there or thereabouts the last few years. They lost to St Dominic's in the 2022 final, Castlereagh St Kevin's a year later, and Elphin in 2024, who of course went on to beat Strokestown in the final. That game against Elphin, of course, was a semi-final, so they have been there or thereabouts. They've beaten Fuerty, Kilmore and Pierce's in the group stages, beat Bridget's in the quarter-final, and of course beat St Michael's 114 to 1-7 in the semi-final. The Éire Óg team, well, they will line out as follows: Colm Lavin in goal, a full back line of Jarlath Lavin, Dennis Barron, and number 21 Angus McDonough comes into the team. A half back line of Joe Hester into Crawley and Niall Flanagan, Ronan Cahill and Jamesy Green in the middle of the field, Thomas Green, Owen Walsh and James McGrail make up the half forward line. Jason Jury, Conor Cox and number 18 Shane Gallagher comes into the team there at corner forward. Strokestown managed by Pierce McGinley, of course lost last year's final to Elphin. 3 years ago, hard to believe it, they were preparing for the 2022 Roscommon Senior Football Championship final, and of course that's a game they won, beating Boyle in the final. They've beaten Kilbride, Shannon Gales and St Bridget's in the group stages, beat Craig's 124 to 12 points in the quarter final, beat Fuerty 3-12 to 2-13 in a terrific semi-final. The last won the intermediate title in 2010. 2000 as well, of course. They also won the intermediate, and as I said, 3 years ago they were Roscommon senior football champions, but they've had to came down to intermediate and unfortunately lost last year's final, so they will be hoping to make amends. Strokestown team lines out as follows: Niall Curley in goals, Dylan Casey, Dylan Owens, Timmy Gibbons in the full back line, David Neary, Sean Malooly, Colin Compton the captain in the half back line, Fionn Cusick and Colm Neary in the middle of the field. A half forward line of Mikey Kavanagh, Kevin Finn and Shane McGinney comes into the team, and Diarmuid McGann, Keith Murphy and Stephen Tighe make up the full forward line. I'm delighted to be joined on co-commentary today by Conor Hussey. Conor, I suppose, is it a case now of maybe now or never for Éire Óg? It's been 32 years, as we said, that they've last won the Intermediate Championship title, and of course Conor Cox, so integral to their game plan. He has kicked 53 points. We believe it's been 18 two-pointers included in that. Is it just maybe too simplistic to say that if Strokestown shut down Conor Cox, they'll win this game?
Hi Ian, thanks for having me. Delighted to be here. Looking forward to a good game. And I suppose, the big question mark is Conor Cox and who is going to pick him up. I think he scored 18 two-pointers in 5 games so far in the championship. So I think a saying I heard before was don't be beaten by what you know. So Strokestown know that Conor Cox can score from anywhere on this field. They have to sit someone on him. They have to try and limit his influence in the game in some shape or form. So I think you're correct, it'll go a long way to getting Strokestown over the line today if they can curtail Conor Cox some way.
And just before we get further analysis from Conor, we just pause for Auron Navian. Well, the pre-match activity's nearly over and it's time to rock, I suppose. Both teams now just getting into a huddle before this game gets underway. St Bridget's Mark Grehan in charge of today's game, and really, really looking forward to a very, very good game. Just going back to our analysis, Conor, Strokestown, it's really hard to believe they were senior champions 3 years ago. They got relegated the following year. A club like Strokestown will feel that they shouldn't be operating at intermediate level, but you have to soak it up, you have to try and get back there. It's a difficult championship to get out of, and they didn't succeed last year.
100%, Ian. Yeah, look, Strokes are going to take massive belief from what they've done a couple of years ago. They've been there, they've got over the line in big games. So I'm just looking here, like, look at their half-back line: David Neary, Sean Malooly, Colin Compton. That's going to be an extremely powerful line for them, and they'll have a lot of belief that they can get over the line here today. But Eire Og are in good form, they're playing well, and I'm looking forward to a good game here now.
I see the first thing I notice is that Conor Cox has gone over to the far sideline and Sean Malooly is on this near sideline, so that might suggest that Sean Malooly is going to pick up Conor Cox, but we'll just have to wait to see how the game develops. And the game is on, and the ball is thrown in, and it's Colm Neary that fastens himself onto that, but it's Kevin Finn who gets it out to Colin Compton, the captain, and it's Sean Malooly now. Will Strokestown going from left to right in the black and amber in this first half? Malooly, superb run from Malooly. Oh, a hard hit in there, but Mark Grehan says let it go, and that's the first blow, psychological blow maybe to Eire Og. A superb hit there was on the Strokestown player, Keith Murphy, I think it was, and that's the way to announce your arrival.
Jamesy Green, my God, that was a massive hit. Great way for Eire Og to start the game here.
So it's Conor Cox, treads the ball through, but that's picked up in there by a Strokestown defender, number 2, Dylan Casey.
I can sense a bit of nerves here, Ian, from both teams. They've started at a hectic pace, so they want to just take a possession here and take the sting out of the game for a few minutes.
From your own experience, Conor, you won't be able to keep this up. This is really, really fast start by both teams, sussing each other out. The Ward Brothers Roscommon Intermediate Football Championship Final. Yesterday in Strokestown we had St. Crohn's and Ballinameen.
So just for viewers here, Ian, it looks like Timmy Gibbons has gone back to pick up Conor Cox, who's gone back into the Eire Og forward line.
So we thought it might have been Sean Malooly beforehand, but it's not. So that gets the ball in, McGinley, and that's a free in. Keith Murphy, well, he took a hefty shoulder the first time, which was fair, but I think that one was a free in, and this is a chance for probably Jérôme McGann or Kevin Finn to put the Strokestown men in front.
Yeah, nice little ball into Keith Murphy there. He showed very well for it after the big collision early on. I thought, look, I'm a defender, I kind of always go on the side of the defender. I thought it was a little bit harsh possibly, but look, Mark Grehan is kind of stamping his authority in the game now, so Kevin Finn has a great chance here to get Strokestown off the board.
So 2 minutes almost on the clock, and is Kevin Finn going to become the first scorer of the intermediate final? You can mark it down because that's Strokestown into the lead, 1 point to no score. Well, it's a free you'd expect him to get, and this will be the first kick out from Colm Lavin, and be interested to see what the kick out strategy is here, Conor.
Strokestown going with the big press here. Looks like a bank of 4 and a bank of 3 or 4 behind them too. They really want to force Colm Lavin here long.
So Lavin places the ball. So it's going long. Comes towards Ronan Cahill in the middle of the field. And that's the first break picked up by Eire Og, picked up well there by Niall Flanagan. Ronan Cahill has had a superb season. That was well gathered there by James McGrail. He did brilliantly to catch it, and in it goes towards Jason Dury. But Dylan Owens did his job. So the press from Eire Og is aggressive, but Strokestown have managed to extract themselves from that press, and here they come forward. It comes to Colm Neary. If Strokestown are to win this game, Colm Neary is one of the players, Conor, that will have to have a big game.
Without a doubt, yeah, he's getting on a lot of ball around the middle of the field so far. I think from Eire Og's perspective, they'll be a bit disappointed with their first 2 possessions.
So that took a deflection, but it comes into Murphy, and here's a chance for Strokestown, but there was a foul in there. Was it Jamesy Green might have been fouled, or into Crawley? It's
scrappy stuff so far, Ian. Both teams are trying to play with good pace, but there's a few little mistakes creaking into the game, which, look, that's understandable. It's a county final.
And the pitch, I'd say, Conor, is probably slippery given the conditions we had up until a couple of hours ago.
And Ian, your point was perfectly made there.
For James McGrail, Mark Grehan says nothing wrong with that, and that ball has gone wide, and that's the first wide of the game.
I think that's 3 times now early on Eire Og have actually kicked the ball and it hasn't worked out, so they need to just take possession for a second, try and work a shot early on.
So Niall Curley will get this ball out to the middle of the field. Colm Lavin's first kick out got a break for Éire Óg. And Jamesy Green, that's a superb catch in the middle of the field. They've got such height, such power in there. So Owen Walsh has a go, and that's a rash shot from Owen Walsh. And just to your point, Conor, this is a nervous start by both teams, you'd have to say.
It is, yeah. Look, James Green, great catch from Jamesy there, and he's had a great start to the game, so Éire Óg can be very happy with that. But a little bit of a rash shot there by Owen Walsh. So both teams are kind of mirroring the same each other in terms of their press. Éire Óg are putting aggressive press on here too, and I say Niall Curley will look to go along here again.
So the first one was won by Éire Óg. Out to Colm Compton, and now there's a chance here for Strokestown because they've got the numbers. It's Kevin Finn. Fionn Cusack doesn't go for, he goes for Neary, and Neary didn't get that, and now it's Éire Óg's turn to counter-attack efficiently. And here come the men from Loughlin, Lissacull and Gertagani. In it goes to Jason Dury, has had a superb championship. And that's a free, and this is Conor Cox territory, and I think that's outside the 2-point arc. So we're going to see what sort of form Conor Cox is in.
I think if Conor could choose a free kick to start off the game, 2-point shot on the left-hand side, slightly to the left of the goal, he would have chosen this. So this could get him off to a good start for the day and add to his tally of twos for the year.
Well, we had an argument coming in, Conor. You said 19, I said 18, but look, he's going to get to 19 maybe at some stage, you would imagine.
It's either 19 or 20 here anyway.
So here comes Cox. That looks really, really good. And that's a 2-point score. Yeah, it was definitely outside the arc. And that's no surprise that Conor Cox has opened his account with his 19th, we'll say, 2-point free, or 2-point score. And that puts Éire Óg 2 points to 1 up. Yeah,
look, Conor will kick those all day, so Strokes will have to be extremely careful of anything around the 2-point arc. They just simply can't foul around there or else they'll be punished.
You said the perfect start. Strokestown go short on that one.
Yeah, that's a good kick out from Niall Curley there. Just settle the things down a small bit and give Strokestown possession.
Yeah, Sean Malooly out to Mikey Kavanagh, has got an option inside, out to the middle of the field, and that goes to Timmy Gibbons, who's picking up Cox. David Neary over the far side of the field, gives it to the brother Colm. If he fancies a run, he'll have a go. It comes out to Diarmuid McGann. Haven't seen too much of Diarmuid so far. The top scorer with 3:29 for Strokestown in this championship. Comes out to the captain, Colin Compton. Éire Óg very well set up, Conor.
Great cut there.
But that's a wild shot from Mikey Kavanagh. It's not going to go out. Oh, superb catch in there. Dennis Barron, is it, that caught that ball?
Think it was possibly Jarrett Lavin.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry, we're both wrong. It was actually 25, Thomas Green, who comes into the team.
Thomas Green came into the team for the semi-final against St Michael's, had just returned from Vancouver the previous Wednesday. A great man to have back in that team. And this is a very good run up the far side of the field by Jarlath Lavin. Out to the middle of the field to Jamesy Green. Conor Cox wants it, finds a bit of space. Ronan Cahill lining up the shot, but Cox takes it back, gives it back to Cox, and Conor Cox puts that wide. That's what you'd expect him to get.
Yeah, he was under a good bit of pressure there. Look, he's just a bit unfortunate, but it was good pressure from Strokestown, but I suppose Conor would probably expect himself to pop those over.
So it comes to Niall Curley to take this kick out. Has gone short, has gone long. He's going to go long this time. And that's Neary in the middle of the field who gets it. And off he goes. He's got options inside. Shane McGinley is one of them coming into the team. McGinley, that's just really a poor effort from Shane McGinley. And as you say, Conor, there are nerves.
There's a lot of nerves in on show, yeah. The game hasn't really settled down yet. It's hard to kind of get a handle on the game and what's kind of going on, to be honest, because there's a lot of mistakes both sides, but
very chaotic. Enda Crawley
very unlucky
had the
there.
Ball. That's a free to the Strokestown men.
The one bit of a pattern that is taking place here is when the goalies go long, both teams tend to press up, and if they don't win the ball, there seems to be an open gap through on goal. Like Enda would have got that there. Éire Óg would have had a good chance going through on goal. Same for Shane McGinley here the last second.
Well spotted by Conor, but of course none of them have made that count yet. Comes to Compton, goes long into Keith Murphy, tracked by Angus McDonough, and McDonough does well, And that's a line ball to Éire Óg, and all these little 50-50 decisions, would I be right in saying just going Éire Óg's way at the minute?
A little bit, yeah. That was really good play by Ingus McDonough. He's a very good, tough defender, and he did very well there.
And McDonough has it again, but loses it. Comes out to Keith Murphy. Fionn Cusack. Really intense game, but what would you expect in the county final? Comes to McGinley, he's over the far side this time. He miscued in his first attempt. Tracked over there by Jarlath Lavin, looking for the shot, but comes to McGann. He's just inside the arc now, he's outside the arc. Gives it to Cusack, he's got options here to the right hand side. But that's a high elbow according to Mark Rehan, and he gives a free out to Éire Óg. Well, there may be mistakes, Conor, but you can't doubt the intensity.
No, the physicality and the intensity and tackle is really, really good. Another long ball in here from Éire Óg.
Now, you'd imagine that you thought that it was going to be a chance for Jason Dury, but it's actually gone out for a 45. And I suppose that will be the key for Éire Óg. They'll try to isolate the likes of Dury, try to isolate the likes of Conor Cox, just on those one-on-one situations, but just hasn't worked so far.
Both teams are really using the foot to get the ball inside early on. It's something you mightn't see as much in other games, but both teams are really trying to force it, and it's probably being forced is the way about thinking about it.
So Colm Lavin, we won't call him the former Roscommon goalkeeper, because who's to say he won't be back on the panel when Mark Dowd sits down to pick his squad later on in the year. But I suppose this is a shot to nothing for him.
It's a long way out here, Ian.
Yeah, long way out over the far side of the field.
I saw Kobe McDonald in Mayo last weekend. He kicked one from another about 5 yards back. But this will be a really tough kick here for Colm.
But it's one of those ones you've nothing to lose. You can just give it a shot. There won't be too much criticism of him if he puts it wide. But here it goes. Well, it hasn't got the trajectory, but in there it should have been won by an Éire Óg player, but it wasn't. And just it's so scrappy. Every ball just so hard fought for, and eventually it strokes down to come out with Compton, and here comes Colm Neary. Off he goes, tracked by Ronan Cahill, but Neary loses it. That's really, really good play by Éire Óg, by Owen Walsh. Oh, there's so little between these teams at the moment. Crawley gets it inside towards Gallagher. Tracked there by Dylan Casey.
That's really good defending there by Dylan Casey. Really, really good defending.
Mikey Kavanagh, look where he is. Positions meaning absolutely nothing. No place to breathe in Kiltoon. Compton.
Colin Compton's getting on a lot of ball here, Ian. I think he's having a good influence in the game.
Yeah, but there's not a lot of options inside. Very, very hard to pick out a forward at the moment. Now here comes Sean Malooly. What a player to have back in the team. Now Malooly gets it into Keith Murphy. That was a good ball, but it comes out to where it started. It's probably the most patient bit of play we've had in the game so far, and it's taken us 12.5 minutes to get there. McGinley can pull something from the locker, but just really closely marked at the moment. So that's Compton over the far side. Kevin Finn takes it off him. Missed the 2022 final because of injury. Now Malooly, the overlap is out here. They've worked this well. Now will Murphy have a go? He has a go, and that's over the bar. And that's a 2-pointer. Mark Rehan decides, and that was brilliantly worked, Conor.
That's the best passage of play so far from either team. Strokestown very, very patient, worked the ball around twice around the arc and isolated Keith Murphy, and a fantastic score. That was more like it now from Strokestown. Great fetch here by Enda Crawley in the middle of the field.
Has had a brilliant championship. Now, this is the first time that they have a bit of space in there. Gallagher, Crawley takes the return and has a chance to kick a score here. But that's another wild shot, and when you consider that Owen Walsh, Conor Cox and that one from Enda Crawley, they're 3 scores that they probably should have got.
It's been a nervous starter right in front of goal for Éire Óg, but they are getting plenty of possession. As you said, Ian, they're very tall around the middle of the field, and they're well able to win their own ball, so that will give them encouragement going forward.
So 3 points to 2, Strokestown lead. As we expected, very, very little in it. That's good play there by number 3,
Dennis Barron.
Comes to James McGrail, has done well there. Comes to Thomas Green. has got options inside. Comes to Dennis Barron, back to Green. It's a difficult angle. That's a superb score from Thomas Green.
That's a very brave kick there by Thomas Green, because if I was on his team and he missed that, I would be letting him know about it. But a really, really good effort all the same. He was from a very, very tight angle, so a serious score from Thomas Green.
Would it be safe to say, Conor, that score was the most difficult of the whole lot?
Definitely, yeah. And Dennis Barron started that move and gave the assist too for the score. So Dennis is back in the game here. It was a great play from him. Another great fetch here from Éire Óg. They're really dominating the skies.
This is good from Éire Óg. Into the centre forward, Owen Walsh. So it comes now to Ronan Cahill, Jamesy Green, and now it's Éire Óg's turn to be patient in possession, take this thing out of the game. Green is making his way into the edge of the square, but Éire Óg just happy to keep the ball at the moment. Owen Walsh has been very influential, as has Dennis Barron.
I think this is actually a decent idea from Éire Óg here. They're actually holding the ball a bit further away from the Strokestown goal. They're inviting Strokestown to push out, which leaves space in behind it. If it works out, I think it could be a good idea.
Can they find the pass, the killer pass, to find a player in that space? Angus McDonough over there. Well, he's just belted it forward. That was really not the right option.
That wasn't my idea, now, to be honest, but look, it worked out here. Conor Cox will have a 2-point Tim to
Well, that was sloppy from Strokestown. Like, they had possession, a player touched it on the ground, and Conor Cox, I'd say this could be one with the outside of the boot.
Big time, yeah, 100%.
So he'll definitely fancy a go at this. He's definitely about 47, 48 metres out. So, Cox. Sides level at 3 apiece. And he's definitely shaping up, you would think. Players making runs off the ball, but there's no way he's going to turn this opportunity down. Well, that is on its way, but that is just away to the right. And it's very funny, every time Cox misses, there's a cheer from the Strokestown supporters, and every time Shane McGinley missed one there earlier on, and there was a big cheer from the Éire Óg supporters. So they definitely recognise the supporters where the threats are.
100%, yeah. Strokestown recognised the importance of the 2-pointers there, and that's a little bit of a let-off from Strokestown, because it was one small mistake that offered up the chance, and I'm nearly kind of glad it didn't go over, because it would have been a harsh penalty for a small little error off the ground.
I think Strokestown are in trouble on their kickouts, Conor, because Éire Óg have picked this one off again. Jason Dury, it looks like. He just saved himself up from the shot, but that was telegraphed, and that was a great block in there. But they've lost the ball. I think it was Dylan Casey who made the block, so he was entitled to that free.
Excellent block there by Dylan Casey. I have to say, Strokestown are defending really well inside. Both teams are defending well inside.
So Mark Graham says to Niall Curley, Mark Graham is writing, and that's a yellow card for Niall Curley. That's a difficult one to fathom. Did he say something?
He must have said something, because
will that be thrown up then for dissent? I don't know.
It is a strange one, all right. Probably shouldn't have too much of an impact on the game. Niall getting a yellow card, but
so Jimmer McGann again operating a long way from goal. Fionn Cusack.
You just mentioned, Dean, about Strokestown being under pressure on their own kickouts, and I think a trait of a lot of the good teams now in the country is that they have an ability to get a short kick out off. So I'm interested to see the next time Curley has the ball, can he get it off short?
Big hit there from Éire Óg, and they win the ball again, but they've got to bring it with them. And Mark Graham says that's a free to Éire Óg, and Brendan Green, the Éire Óg manager, jumping for joy on that one.
Brendan doesn't feel the cold today anyway, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. Well, in his defence, it's about 14 or 15 degrees, but you get the feeling if it was minus 14 or 15 degrees, Brendan would still be in the same attire. But what a job he's done with Éire Óg to get them back to the final. Comes now to Enda Crawley. He's got an option inside, and that option is Jarlath Lavin. Gives it to McGrail, does brilliantly to get away. Good chance for McGrail, and he has kicked that wide. That is a really, really poor miss. And are Aero going to come back and regret these chances, Conor?
Oh, I think that's probably an encapsulation of maybe what Éire Óg have come into this game. It's just a bit of nerves. It was initially a fabulous play by James McGrail. He took the ball on the spin and took the Strokestown defender out of it lovely. And I'd say he'd be very disappointed with that effort.
Ball goes long again. This time it's a free to Strokestown. Well, nearly 20 minutes gone, 3 points apiece. It's a throwback to the old rules.
It's a very cagey affair, Ian, there's no two ways about it.
But it's a final, and all good managers will tell you, only thing that matters in a final is who's lifting the cup at the end of it. Again, James Green holds up Kevin Finn. Back now to Stephen Tighe. Haven't seen much of Stephen. Fionn Cusack. Stephen Tighe again. Éire Óg really well set up defensively. Maluli, haven't seen him really get forward that much. No scampering, trademark runs. David Neary thought about it, but gets inside, gives it back to Maluli. Here's a chance now for Maluli. Gives it back to Keith Murphy. But Éire Óg defending well. The organisation is good. Everyone communicating with each other. McGinley. Stephen Tighe has a go. That's a tremendous kick from Stephen Tighe. That is the score of the game from Stephen Tighe, and it puts Strokestown 2 points up.
Outrageous score there by Stephen Tighe. That was a really good play again from Strokestown. A nice bit of bite coming into the game now too, Ian.
Two teams desperate to be playing senior football next year, and it's individual brilliance like that could be the difference in deciding this game.
Well, that's the blueprint to breaking down the blanket defence. Strokestown have done it twice in a row there.
David Neary, you get the feeling Strokestown are warming to their task now. Keith Murphy, again, hit hard by Angus McDonough. As you say, Colin Compton, Conor, so involved in everything that Strokestown do. Colin Neary, not too far behind him. Jinkin, his way inside, was the 2 point score there a few seconds ago. Stephen Tighe, but Strokestown, the black and amber, just happy to hold on to possession. Not much between the teams. Maluli says, give it to me. David Neary decides he's going to go himself. There's another long effort coming in here, and that's a superb score from Compton. It's a 1 pointer, but when they just have that little inch of space, they're getting their shots off, and they're far more economical than Éire Óg.
Yeah, Strokestown have really come into the game now in the last 7 or 8 minutes. They're looking really good on the ball, they're looking composed, and Éire Óg are going to have to do something to get them out of the rhythm here.
And again, we go back to the point. Conor Cox has been kept quiet. Like on the periphery of the game, you'd have to say so far.
Well, Ian, just in this case here now, so Colin Lavin went long again there. Like, ideally speaking, Éire Óg would look to get hands on ball there, but in the new rules, it's become harder and harder to get the short kickouts off.
Well, we were talking about short kickouts. When Pádraig Pearce's need a short kick out, Davy Murray is usually the man that ends up with it, and that takes the pressure off.
If Strokestown now could come down the field and get another score, it really puts another nail in the coffin.
Small margins. Here comes Finn, and the overlap is on the far side, and it's Mikey Kavanagh, and there's a chance inside. Maluli keeps going. Oh, there's a chance here. There's a goal across the goal. Éire Óg players are trying to go on it, but it's free out. McGann, well, he has his hands in his head, but he probably heard the whistle. He knew that goal wasn't going to be allowed, and it's Jamesy Green that comes away with it for Éire Óg. Niall Flanagan gives it to Owen Walsh. Back to Jamesy Green. His father is the manager, Brendan. Niall Flanagan inside. That's great defending by Strokestown. Jason Dury not getting the space he got in previous matches. Tracked over there by Dylan Owens. Dury doing well, but where's the options? Comes to Conor Cox. Into Crawley. He will line up a shot maybe. No, he doesn't. But He needs to get the ball away, and that's another wild effort, and that's going to go out wide, and that's brilliant defending by Strokestown.
Very, very good defending by Strokestown. Jason Dory did really well in the corner initially. He was under severe pressure, and he managed to get the ball out. Again, Éire Óg probably forcing it a small bit. They're only 3 points down, and they're playing almost like they're a lot more points down.
Yeah, and you'd have to say, like, some of the wides, you think of McGrail's wide, you think of that one there from Enda Crawley. These are scores in an intermediate final you need to be getting. So, up into the middle of the field. And once again, Jamesy Green, he's had a tremendous game in the middle of the field. He has provided the platform for Éire Óg and gets that ball away to Owen Walsh. Can this be more productive for Éire Óg? Dury doesn't get there, Malooly does. And off he goes. Brilliant physicality from Sean Malooly. That's what he brings.
That's Sean Malooly at his absolute best there.
Finn, well, thought that there was a Strokestown player going to be there. Wasn't there. That ball will go wide. But that was brilliant play by Sean Malooly. And Mark Grehan is looking for someone.
Sean Malooly actually went on the outside of Jason Dury there, which normally wouldn't be the case. Normally you try and say go side of your man, but he spotted the hand pass and he kind of got around Jason on the outside.
And is Owen Walsh just getting a tick, or was he booked?
A yellow card for Owen Walsh, I believe.
Yeah, so I think that was probably for the wild challenge of Malooly, which Malooly shipped really, really well. But it's Strokestown just in the box seat at the moment. That's going towards Green again. He doesn't get that one, but Éire Óg do. That's a good ball inside. Dury has it this time. Where's the option? Comes to Conor Cox. Conor Cox gets around the Strokestown full back line. He keeps going, and that's a a free out, says Mark Grehan. Conor Cox thought he was going to get a penalty, but I think it was the right call.
I think it was the right call, Ian. Conor was probably trying to force it a small bit.
But again, good defending from Strokestown. Comes to Stephen Tighe, who kicked the score of the game.
Stephen's playing quite well too. He's getting on the ball a lot. But Strokestown big players are really starting to have an impact in the game. Sean Malooly, Colin Neary, Colin Compton.
Comes out to Mikey Kavanagh. Has played his part as well. Colin Neary stood up by Jamesy Green. Gives it to the brother David. That's a great ball out to the middle. Now, is there anyone available to take it towards the arc and perhaps try for a two-pointer? I see a substitute been ready down here for Éire Óg. Number 20, Brian Green. I think that's a recognition that Éire Óg need more firepower up front.
I think in this case here, Éire Óg have to push out a small bit more and put a little bit more pressure on Strokestown when they're playing the ball around here. It's a little bit too easy at the moment for Strokestown just to pick Éire Óg apart.
Malooly has been absolutely superb for Strokestown so far. You'd imagine that was close enough to been a free. There was an Éire Óg player dragging up out of him. So Colin Compton over that far side tries to get around. Still going. Does really well to hold on to possession, Compton. So much experience. They just look more composed in possession, Conor.
100%. I think if we had Sky Sports possession stats here, we'd see that Strokestown have at least 60 plus possession.
They work the ball from left to right again. Kevin Finn, so much experience in this team. Where's Finn going? Gives it out to Colin Neary. Jimmer McGann hasn't scored so far. That might change now. Gives it inside. McGinley gives it to Murphy, but it's along the ground, and that's going to be difficult to find a Strokestown player. Two players just absolutely go for that ball. Was that Jamesy Green again? Well, if there's one player on the Éire Óg team, Conor, that has really stood up to the plate this afternoon, it's Jamesy Green.
Jamesy Green is playing fantastically well here. He's really bringing the fight to Strokestown. He's caught numerous possessions in midfield. He's doing really, really well.
So Brian Green is on, and number 11, Owen Walsh, comes off the Éire Óg team.
Number 11, Owen Walsh.
As I said, I think that's just a recognition that Éire Óg need more from the forwards.
Brian Green is a fantastic sub to bring on here too, and Sean Malooly's going over to him straight away. I think Owen's a little bit unfortunate, just that yellow card probably put him in the view of the manager.
Yeah, tight margins. Angus McDonough has come into the team for Mark Finan for this final. Jarlath Lavin, McDonough's available. McDonough has. Long ball inside, but that's meat and drink to Fionn Cusack. Ronan Cahill has been on the periphery. You feel that more Stokestown big players are stepping up to the plate here, and Timmy Gibbons now has some open road in front of him. David Neary has more open road in front of him. Where are the options inside? Superb ball inside towards Shane McGinley. David Neary knew exactly where that was going. McGinley takes a shot, and McGinley puts that over the bar. Is it? It is. That's a superb score.
That's an absolutely superb score there from the Strokes. I have to say, Strokestown look absolutely full of run at the minute. Lovely pass from David Neary. That's the type of pass that a forward wants, to the side of the defender, and a lovely gather and turn and point from Shane McGinley.
But that all came from an aimless Éire Óg delivery that Fionn Cusack picked off. Mikey Kavanagh, are Éire Óg in trouble?
I think so, Ian. I think Éire Óg could be in trouble. But look, they're only 4 points down, like a 2-pointer or a goal. A 5-minute spell, and they can be back in the game, no doubt. Look, on the scoreboard, they're not out of the game on the scoreboard, but the way they're playing, they're in trouble.
I mean, you look at Conor Cox, he's had, 3 shots at goal. He got a 2-pointer from a free, missed another one, missed one from open play. And this is the first time that he's come up against a team that have maybe 2 or 3 fellas that can mark him. More options here. Malooly's on his bike. This looks promising for Strokestown. Comes to Keith Murphy. He'll take his point over the bar, and Strokestown go 8-3 in front. And in the context of this game, that looks like a very, very significant score. Another
excellent score from Strokestown. They're really turning the screw here now in this game, and I think Brendan Green and Éire Óg will want to see half-time come sooner rather than later.
Well, we're nearly at the half-time whistle. 8-3, and it just feels like a big league, Conor. And given the way that Éire Óg are playing, Strokestown just have, figured it out. And in the last 10 minutes of the half, they've had a 2-pointer from Stephen Tighe. They've had a score from number 34, Liam Creighton, for Shane Gallagher, as the ball gets thrown in by Mark Grehan. Second half underway, and Jamesy Green wins the ball in towards Ronan Cahill. Ronan Cahill gathers that and gives it to Enda Crawley. He's an option outside. McGrail gives it to Jason Dury. Jason Dury goes across the goal with it, but it comes back to Liam Creighton and has free Liam Creighton, and this will be a score, you would imagine.
That's a very, very good start there from Éire Óg. Look, Jamesy Green has been in this game all throughout. He started the game off the way he finished the first half, and that was a really, really good move from Éire Óg. They probably should have got the score before that, but little put on the jersey and a nice tap over free for Conor Cox. So a good start from Éire Óg here.
Again, I suppose, good to go back to your original point. Probably should have been a score from Jason Dury before it came out to Liam Creighton. So that's a kick by Conor Cox, and that's over the bar. So that brings his tally to 3 for the afternoon. Brings Éire Óg's tally to 4.
I think Brendan Green will be happy too with Liam Creighton there. He showed a bit of sharpness. I know he's not back in the country long, but he did show a good bit of sharpness there. Nice catch and turn to win the free.
So Liam, not back in the country long. We believe he was in Australia for a good while, but he's back and he's in the team. So Green has had an absolutely magnificent game. He's the one player that is keeping Éire Óg afloat here, and it comes to James McGrail. The options inside. So Liam Creighton looks fit, looks hungry, gets around his marker, gives it back to Thomas Green, runs into traffic, and it's Kevin Finn who picks up the pieces. Down in this left corner, gets it across to Davy Neary, and now Strokestown will build, playing from right to left in this second half. The black and amber. Good ball inside. Keith Murphy shown in front of Angus McDonough, but doesn't win the ball, but gets it at the second attempt. McGann is available, but he doesn't opt for McGann. Goes to Davy Neary, hits it in long. Lovely diagonal ball. Stephen Tighe gets it from Shane McGinley. Comes out here to Colin Compton. What's the Strokestown response to that? Conor Cox free. Patient football, you would imagine, until they find the opportunity to maybe get a shot off goal at goal. Here comes Colm Neary, predictably brings pace to proceedings, gets a good ball inside, gives it to his brother David. There's options inside. This could be a goal, but Colm Lavin gets there first. It was Keith Murphy that was coming in, and the Éire Óg lift the siege. Jarlath Lavin gets it out to James McGrail, gives it to Thomas Green. Jamesy Green. Foul by Shane McGinley. Tap and go. Where's the options up front? None forthcoming. Sean Malooly just sitting in the pocket at the moment. Dennis Barron. Another Aero player who I thought had a good first half. Comes to Brian Green, was introduced in the first half. Is going to go for a 2-pointer. And that looks good, and that looks over the bar. And the Aero Revival is up and running. A great score by Brian Green, the substitute.
And just like that, Ian, Éire Óg are only 2 points down. Colin Lavin's interception led the way, and fantastic score by Brian Green. And that's the role of the 2-pointer in the modern games. Éire Óg are back in this game 100%.
And that's a terrible kick out, and here comes Liam Creighton. He's got options inside. Conor Cox is beside him, gives it to Conor Cox. Conor Cox fits it over the bar, and we're back to a 1-point game. What were Strokestown doing there? They've fallen asleep. What a start to Éire Óg, to this second half for Éire Óg. They weren't exactly dead and buried at half-time, Conor. You called it, you said they weren't dead and buried in the scoreboard, and they've come out in the second half, and they mean business.
They could be ahead, Ian. There was a goal chance there, but Conor Cox took the right option. I'd probably imagine just tapped it over the bar. And they've won the possession again here, have they? No, great play by David Neary.
David Neary, what's the Strokestown response going to be? Stephen Tye, McGann is out to this left side. Does well, Stephen Tye, and off he goes, and still goes. But that's just undercooked. That goes wide, but he has a free.
I have to say, and I'm very, very impressed with Stephen Tighe. His ball-winning abilities, his agility and his vision, he's very, very good. He was unlucky not to tap it over the bar, but it was really, really good work for him to win the free in the first place.
So this is just inside the arc. We can see it from our commentary position. But whether 2 or 1 point, this is just a score that Strokestown need to settle them down. So here comes McGann. Strokestown need a response. And that's a very good kick from Jieran McGann. That's a great score, and that gets Strokestown on to 9 points. And that's the response that Pierce McGinley would have wanted, Conor.
Without a doubt, yeah. Niall Curley would be breathing a sigh of relief. I think those kickouts are high risk, but he got away with it.
Yeah, if you're going to go short, you got to nail them. Out around the middle of the field, Brian Green goes up. Brian Green has it. When it comes to Ronan Cahill, I've seen very little of Ronan so far. Has to bring the ball with him. Now he's in a gobbled up in a tackle. Momentum has shifted in this game, definitely. You can see there's a pep in the step of the Éire Óg players now. Enda Crawley. Back to Liam Creighton. They've got all the firepower they have on the bench. Creighton, a mad effort. Too mad, you would have to say. Well, I know he's enthusiastic, Conor, but you got to be more sensible than that in possession.
I think so, yeah. Look, Éire Óg are having a good moment in the game here. They need to make the most out of it. They need to work scoreable chances. That was probably a little bit of rush of blood ahead from Liam Creighton, so he hopes now that Strokestown don't go down and get a score from it.
That's just been in keeping with the rash shooting of Éire Óg throughout this game. I know they've had a very good start to the second half. Stephen Tye, Conor has been impressed with him. What's he going to do on this occasion? Diagonal ball in. Shane McGinley was adjudged to have been doing the fouling. And Jamesy Green gives it to Ronan Cahill. Denny Barron has been really, really good for Éire Óg. James McGrail has put in a serious shift as well. Gives it to Dury, who wins the ball well. Dylan Owens tracking him. Out to Conor Cox. Been tracked by Kevin Finn. Conor Cox, it was his uncle Johnny that captained Éire Óg all the way back 32 years ago. He would dearly love to pass on the baton to his nephew. Here comes Crawley. Off he goes, wins the free. So the free will be brought back.
That's really good play there from Enda Crawley. Excellent play, drawing the free, driving at the Strokestown defence. And that's much better from Éire Óg. They'd be much more happy with that passage of play.
Where has the momentum shifted, Conor?
I think that 2-pointer, Ian, to be honest. Look, there was a 2-pointer from Brian Green, then the errant kick out from Niall Curley, and that's brought Éire Óg back into the game. You'd imagine Conor Cox had tapped this over to be a point down. They were 5 down at half time. There's a game on our hands here, no doubt.
So here comes Cox. Gets that on the way and gets it over the bar, and we're back to a 1 point game, 9 points to 8. As you say, Conor, it was one that you'd expect Conor Cox to get.
I suppose the question is now, will Niall Curley have the belief to go short again if it's on, or will he go for the probably safer option down the field?
They are in a dilemma now because Jamesy Green is just lording the skies in the middle of the field for Éire Óg.
And Enda Crawley also.
But this looks like Kevin Finn could get this. Has it, gives it to Compton. Now the overlap is on and there's danger here. Keith Murphy bearing down and goal. What's he going to do? Gets the shot in. What a goal from Keith Murphy! A brilliant shot into the corner of the net. Lavin couldn't get near it. You did say, Conor, that there was space there for teams to exploit. Strokestown exploited at that time, and how crucial is that goal from Keith Murphy going to be? 1-9 to 8 points.
We spoke about it in the first half, Ian. There's high risk to pushing up on these kickouts. One ball over the top and it's goal chance, and I have to say that was an excellent finish from Keith Murphy. He put it where Colin Lavin couldn't go, nice and low into the corner, and Strokestown come again here.
The momentum is shifted again, comes to Neary. He's got Mikey Cavan out to the right hand side. Mikey Cavan is bearing down and goal. He keeps going, gives it inside. He comes to McGann, another shot. Oh, what a block! A brilliant block in there. Was it Angus McDonough? He saved his team. Brilliant block by McDonough. McGann looks certain to score, and Éire Óg lift the siege. It's a free out. Oh, that was so close to be nearly game, set and match.
That could have been the game right there, Ian. I think it could have been Jarrett Lavin. I could be open to correction, but number 2 for Éire Óg. What a block. Malooly was going to bury that only for Jarrett Lavin, so he can thank. He has Brendan Green has Jarrett Lavin to thank there to keep them in the game.
And look who's coming into the team now. Number 30, Thomas Corcoran, has been away in his travels as well.
Great to see Thomas Corcoran coming back, a fine footballer in his day, and he'll be gladly welcome here in the Strokestown team for the final few minutes, 20 minutes or so.
Well, we have the United Nations of Roscommon footballers out in the field at the moment. We've had them from Canada, we've had them from Australia. I'm not sure where exactly Thomas Corcoran has been, but we're going to find out what he's in the legs now for the next 20 minutes. 1-9 to 8 points, Strokestown lead. And here we go again. Bravery by Timmy Gibbons. Corcoran has it. Into McGann. Faced by Angus McDonough. McGann will fancy taking it on. McGann gets it over the bar. It's a good score. 1-10 to 8 points. And Strokestown have regained the grip on this game.
Big time, Ian. Yeah, that's typical Strokestown. They found the space. Lovely kick pass into Gerben McGann, and Angus McDonough couldn't really do a whole pile. He was isolated. He was one-on-one in Gerben McGann. And that's what Éire Óg really want to avoid. They can't give the space to the likes of Keith Murphy, Gerben McGann, Shane McGinley.
Another throw of the dice from Éire Óg. I see number 10, Porrick Green, is warming up. It's a poor kick out by Lavin. Mikey Kavanagh has an option to Dylan Casey. McGinley takes on his marker. He's still going. McGinley keeps going. Oh, and it goes across the face of goal. It's still in play. Beautifully picked up. But the referee and the umpire come to a conclusion that it was wide.
The Éire Óg goal is living a cherished life at the minute. That could easily have gone into the back of the net again. I see Jamesy Green's having a word here with Colin Lavin, so they must have some kind of a kick-out strategy coming here now. Éire Óg need to get hands on possession here and take the sting out of this momentum from Strokestown.
So Kieran Regan is coming on to the Strokestown team, number 24, and number 11 Kevin Finn is coming off, and number 10 for Éire Óg is Porrick Dewry.
Something's after happening here in the middle of the field, Dean. The Strokestown players are trying to get Mark Rehen's attention. I think number 2, Dylan Casey is down here in the middle of the field, and something might have happened.
So it's Porrick Dewry is in for number 21, Angus McDonough.
It looks like he has to go off too.
Did you see what happened, Conor?
I didn't. I just saw that. I saw 3 or 4 Strokestown players gesturing to Mark Grehen that there was something wrong with the Strokestown player, who it looks like he has to come off here now.
So there's another substitute coming. Number 17, Luke Kelly. Number 2 for Dylan Casey. So it's Luke Kelly for Dylan Casey.
Substitution on the Strokestown team, number 17, Luke Kelly. Replaces number 2.
Just when it seemed that Strokestown had a bit of momentum, all these substitutes have sort of taken away that momentum. But this is the biggest kick out of the game. Stephen Tighe goes up for it. What an introduction by Porrick Dewry.
What a catch.
Green gives it to Cahill. Cox, Green tries to find space, does find space. What's the Aero response going to be? It's going to have to come out the way. Liam Creighton, I think that's who that is over the far side, comes out to Dury.
I think Pádraig Dury could actually have hurt himself catching that ball. We'll see how he gets on in the next few minutes.
Yeah, Pádraig Dury's limping. He's only after coming on. Thomas Green. Inside, but that's meat and drink. That's great play by Luke Kelly. Luke Kelly came on against Craigs, had a really, really good game in the quarter-final. Corcoran does really, really well, gives it to McGinley. The options are plentiful. Where's he going to put it? Delays. Still options. Gives it inside, but picked out by Dury. He's had a big impact since he's come in.
Major impact from Pádraig Dury and also Luke Kelly too there at the other end, winning that ball back from Strokestown.
Pádraig Dury.
He's in bother, I think, Ian. He's limping.
Well, that would be disaster after bringing him on. But Crawley gives it inside to Brian Green. Will turn, gets around his man very, very well, and still going, but doesn't need to take that ball into tackle. He somehow gets it out. It comes out to Crawley. Will have a go, and over the bar it goes from Enda Crawley.
It's a great score from Enda Crawley.
Great leadership shown by Crawley.
I think the one area of the field Eero could be really happy with is around the middle of the park. Jamesy Green, Enda Crawley, they're having a massive impact. Even Pádraig Dury there too coming on. So they're still keeping in the game. They're just about in touch.
110 to 9 points. We're just about hitting the three-quarter stage of the match. Out around the middle it goes again, and once again it's Aero who pick it up. This time it's Conor Cox. That will be a free forward, and Conor Cox will tap and go. But that's not a good ball inside. And the Strokestown supporters are happy enough with that.
I think hammer the hammerine, that's the expression they use.
So it's Niall Curley. Strokestown are in trouble on their own kick out, Conor.
Without
I know
doubt.
for every maybe one out of five they're winning it and they're actually getting go forward ball, but they are really struggling with Crawley's and Green's influence in the middle of the field.
Big time, yeah. But look, I suppose they'll be kind of happy enough with the scoreboard at the minute, so they'll probably, if I was Niall Curley, I'd still probably go along for now because they're 4 points up.
And here comes that break again. It comes to Neary in a foot race with Conor Cox. And what a pick up by Colin Neary. Absolutely superb. That was brilliant. This will be some score. He killed going. He's still going. Lavin saves it. Out for a 45. That would have been an unbelievable score. What a pick up that was from Colin Neary. Ronaldo wouldn't be able to do that, but he couldn't pick it up anyway. But it's going to be a 45. And Jim McGann will fancy this, you'd imagine. But the pace he showed to get by Conor Cox, picked it up, gave it inside, and Lavin saved Aero's bacon again.
Big time, yeah. That was a quality piece of skill there from Colin Neary. I'd say he's just thinking to himself what could have been, because if that rattled the back of the net, that would have been shown in highlight videos for years to come, I'm sure, around Strokestown. But look, Niall Curley has a good chance here now to get Strokestown's lead back to 5 points. But Colin Lavin keeping Aero in the game too. That's his second vital interception in front of goal.
So, perfect conditions for Curley. Couple of steps back, gets it up and over the bar, and that's why he was brought up to take it. 111 to 9. We've hit 16 and a half minutes. Well, they had one hand in the cup at half time. They still have one hand in the cup. That 5 point advantage has not been eroded, although initially it was, Conor. So, around the middle of the field again, Green gets ahead of his marker, and Strokestown win this one. But great battling qualities there by Aero to win it back. Green picks it up. That's a great run. It comes inside Ronan Cahill. Great tackle in there. Oh, that was a brilliant, brilliant tackle by the Strokestown player.
Here comes Strokestown, Ian. David Neary bursting off the ball here.
I think it was David Neary that made the tackle. McGann wants it. McGann gets it. Look where he's looking for a foul. Still he goes. Gives it inside. It comes to Ty. But that's just pulled right. It could be a dangerous ball in. And Colin Lavin was brave. Really brave. And that ball has gone out to the far side of the field where it will be picked up by Niall Flanagan. Strokestown fighting for everything here. Comes to Dury. That's a really, really dangerous ball, but Crawley does absolutely brilliantly to win it. He deserved that free, Conor.
Very, very brave there from Enda Crawley. Here he goes again now.
I know if he goes, but the options inside are minimal, and that's just a bad ball, but it still might work out. No, it doesn't. Colin Neary, he has kind of drifted further back into defence.
He's like the fireman. He's putting out fires everywhere he goes.
Great ball inside. Shane McGinley. So that was surely to be entitled to be a free, and he gets it.
Brave play there from Shane McGinley too. He had 2 players around him and he still won possession.
Again, has done really, really well. It's been an enjoyable second half, Conor.
It has, yeah. Éire Óg look have brought the fight. They haven't given up. They started the second half, really, really well, but Strokes have come back into it again here now and they're showing their experience.
It comes to Corcoran, who's been quietly effective since he's come on. You'd hardly know he was away, but obviously kept himself in good shape wherever he was. Maluli hasn't been prominent in the second half, but Maluli keeps going forward. Compton gives it across to Kavanagh. Sean Maluli has it again. Gets it out to Murphy. Thomas Corcoran will go over to this side. No, he goes the other side. Such a big lad to have in the middle of the field. Strokestown probing. They know they're so close. But that was taken into the tackle, and that is a definite free out, and that was a really, really clumsy tackle, should we call it, from Thomas Corcoran.
It was, and he could be after hurting himself too. The ball just got away from him and he slid in.
That'll be a...
It looks like Mark Rehan's going to give him a card. He's hardly going to give him a black card, is he? For
No, I'd say it'd be yellow.
Yellow card, yeah.
Yeah, just was a silly tackle.
I think Thomas is hurt too. He's not getting up too fast. I think Ian is coming to the stage now. Look, there's about 10 minutes left. Éire Óg just have to throw the shackles off and they have to run at Strokestown. I think this tactic of kicking ball in isn't exactly working. They need to just throw the shackles off and run at them.
And that's a loose pass, but it still works out for Éire Óg. Now it comes to Thomas Green. Ball goes in again into Jason Dury. He holds on to it this time, but he's been bottled up. Conor Cox gives it inside to Green. But Green could be going into the goal, but no, it won't.
I think Conor Cox is showed all his experience there to win a free.
But Éire Óg are not out of this game. 1-11-9. 21 minutes gone. And there's a number 18, Shane McGinley. Book in for him. So Conor Cox. This will bring them to 10 points. They haven't scored in about 8 minutes. Well, that was close, but they all count. No matter how they go over the bar, that one came off the post. We've hit the last 9 minutes, and there's 4 points in it. Éire Óg still alive, Conor.
Éire Óg are still in touching distance here. A massive kick out coming up here. If they can get their hands on possession, they can make things uncomfortable for Strokestown.
Corcoran goes up, but again Crawley, he's been magnificent for Éire Óg in this second half. Ronan Cahill into Cox, tracked this time by Timmy Gibbons. So looking for a score over this far side. That's another rash shot, and if you'd have to say, Conor, if Éire Óg had converted half of these opportunities, they probably would be on level terms.
It could be a case of what if for Óg when the final whistle goes here, because as you said, Ian, they've had plenty of opportunities here to increase their score and tally.
And is that the difference between the sides, Conor? At the end of the day, Strokestown have just been more economical.
I think so. A little bit more composure from Strokestown, a little bit more cuteness in front of goal. But look, it's not over yet. As you said, Ian, Éire Óg are dominating the Strokestown kick out here. Strokestown can barely win their own kick out, but they're still winning by 4 points.
Cahill decides to tap and go. Again, he has come more into the game in the second half, but this man, Enda Crawley, has carried the fight to Strokestown. Jason Dury, son of Ray, comes to Crawley. Where's the shot going to go? He could get a shot off here. Left-footed shot. That's wide. That's a really, really poor wide, but he's done so much right in this second half. But again, that's another litany of poor misses for Éire Óg, Conor.
It is. Look, I feel sorry for Enda Crawley there. He done so much right, as you said. He's working his socks off. He probably needed someone to come from to give the ball to. He done so much hard work. He probably a bit of fatigue there, and he went for his left foot, but it's just unfortunate.
So number 28, Evan Moran, is coming on for number 14, Keith Murphy, the goal scorer. And will it be his goal that ultimately decides this match and the destination of the James E. Murray Cup? So, Stokestown have had a tough year. We remember Martin Fazzy Fallon was one of their greatest, died suddenly earlier on this year, and how they would love to bring the James E. Murray Cup back to Stokestown for him. But at the moment, between Enda Crawley and James E. Green, they are ruling it around the middle of the field. And usually, if you rule around the middle of the field, you win the game. But it's Éire Óg shooting, and this will be a 2-point attempt for Conor Cox.
I suppose an interesting question for you there, Ian. You see where Conor Cox is taking the free from here now beside Ian Monaghan. That's where Brian Green was initially fouled. The ref played advantage, but Brian Green was then fouled 5 yards ahead of that. Where should the free really be placed here now in this situation? Is it from the initial free?
Conor Cox, he won't mind. He'll decide where this is going. This is a huge, huge kick in the context of this game. It's on its way outside of the boot. It looks wide, I think. Oh, that's another miss. Éire Óg are kicking this game away.
Things just aren't going right for Éire Óg in front of goal. Look, that was an extremely difficult free. Conor would probably back himself still saying that. And
But
if that was to go over,
is that not the difference at this elite level? When there's a final at stake, you've got to be nailing those scores.
It is. Look, 10 points so far with 24 minutes gone in the second half. They won't be happy with that tally.
Stokestown cannot win a ball in the middle of the field. This time it's Crawley. He has been absolutely magnificent. And now there's space in front for Brian Green. What's he going to do with it? He surely might take a score. Decides to keep going. Green keeps going. A brilliant, brilliant block. But he's given a free in.
I tell you something, Ian. That's the best piece of play I've seen from any player this year. Colm Neary, we can see it from above. He's after running 60 yards to chase down Brian Green. It's the best piece of play I've seen.
The goal! But he's not allowing it. I think he had to wait for the whistle. Well, in fairness to Cox, he went for it. But Conor Cox had been told you can't do that. In fairness to Mark Grehan, I don't think the whistle was blown, and you have to wait till the whistle is blown before you can take those frees. Well, Cox is not happy. In fairness to him, he had a go at it. But, of course, Mark Grehan hadn't finished his bookkeeping duties. He's going to give a yellow card to Colm Neary.
Ian, this puts Éire Óg 3 down with about 4 normal to go. The way they're going around the middle of the field, they're going to get another chance for a 2-pointer or goal. This game is still not over yet. But again, just coming back to that Colm Neary moment, that was a goal chance for Éire Óg and Brian Green. And Colm Neary, really incredible defensive play.
But Stokestown have to win a ball around the middle of the field. Out to Crawley and Green again. And once again, they have it this time. So, can they make hay this time? It comes to Ty. Out to number 5, David Neary. Space over here for Compton. Will have a goal. And kicks that point. And that is the difference between the teams. A brilliant point for Colin Compton. A captain's point. And once again, Stokestown got 4 points up.
Utter class there from Colin Compton. What a score. The pressure moment was on, and he slapped it straight over the bar.
Stokestown had it, but they've lost to James E. Green. Stokestown win it back. It'd be hard to see an Éire Óg player do that. Just in the way that things have gone this half.
The way the game has gone, yeah. But that was just a really good moment of composure from Colin Compton. He looked so relaxed, so composed in the ball, and a beautiful strike.
10 wides for Éire Óg, 3 for Stokestown. Long ball inside. Lavin wondering whether he should come or not. But it's number 28. Evan Moran has the ball, does well to pick it up, but that's a loose pass. McGann will do well to keep it in, but he does keep it in. Takes on Barron. Where's the option? Number 17, Luke Kelly has it. Stephen Ty has done really well. Corcoran. Colm Neary will have a cut, gives it to Stephen Tye. Every possession so vital now. This is what you train all year for. Kept in over the far side of the field. It comes to Compton. Is he going to repeat the trick? Here he comes, the captain, left foot, on its way, it's over the bar! Colin Compton, 2 points in a couple of minutes. And you feel at this stage that could be the winner.
That could be the winner of the game. I mean, that's just a class 5 minutes there from Colin Compton. What a score off his right foot a few minutes ago. What a score off his left foot just there. That could be just enough to see Strokestown over the line here. We spoke about Colm Neary's pickup a few minutes ago, but the substitute there for Strokestown, I'm just not sure of his name off the top of my head. What a pickup down here in the corner. We had a great view of it, but what a skillful pickup to get possession there, and Strokestown held the ball. Great patience and class from Colin Compton to finish it off at the end.
Cork goes up, great knockdown, and Strokestown are coming again, and they've got men inside. McGann, here he goes, has inside, but it could still work out for Strokestown. It comes to number 28, there's the goal! And Strokestown are going to win the Intermediate Championship. Is it Evan Moran? And that should be that. Evan Moran has surely now won the James E. Murray Cup for Strokestown. 213 to 11 points. It's harsh on Éire Óg, but this is elite level football final. Éire Óg haven't taken their chances, Strokestown have taken theirs. In it goes again, great play by Green. And that's going to be a black card, I would imagine.
I don't think he can solo and go until the 21.
No.
I suppose, Ian, look, there's 29 minutes gone in the second half, and that's possibly one of the first really good balls Éire Óg kicked into the full forward line. Brian Green has really good hands there.
Additional time. Well, I thought it was the substitute that made the tackle, but it's actually Sean Mullooly who's been given the black card. It's been a fascinating second half. In fairness to Éire Óg, they've given it everything, but unfortunately they just haven't found the target regularly enough. So here comes Cox. He's going to go for it, and that is blocked out, and that really, I suppose, is the sign of a beaten team, Conor.
I think that's it, Ian. Unfortunately for Éire Óg, Strokestown have just shown enough quality, enough class to get over this hurdle.
Éire Óg go short to Pádraig Dury. They'll give it back to him. He's going to go for a two-pointer. That is over the bar. That's a two-pointer. But looks like it's too little too late. They were the ones that needed to be going over about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think Éire Óg will look back and probably think they probably didn't get Cox on the ball around that arc enough. Now that's a lot of that's down to Strokestown's good defending also.
Niall Curley out to King Corcoran in the middle of the field. Crawley, well, has been absolutely superb. He has died with his boots on for this Éire Óg team today. Arguably, you could say he's been nearly the player of the match, even though his team find himself 6 points down. It's a harsh scoreline, but Éire Óg have just missed too many chances. This will be another 2-point free. Up it goes. Mark Grant says play on, but you would imagine comes back. What a catch by Green. But where's the space? It will be a 2-point free.
As you said there, Ian, it's very, very harsh on Ender Crawley. Jamesy Green also, the two of them
have been magnificent. They have just given it everything.
Without a doubt, they've died with their boots on and they can hold their heads high tonight no matter what happens.
Cox, and that looks like another 2-point free. Is that over the bar? It is.
Yeah, 2 points from Conor Cox.
So it's back to 4, and we still have about a minute left. 13 to 15. And Crawley again, he's been unbelievable.
At this stage, he's becoming a bit of a joke. He must have caught 7 or 8 kickouts so far.
He has absolutely lorded it. If they could get a goal here, comes inside to Green. Green does latch himself onto it, but where's the support? Strokestown need to shepherd him out. Green, and that has gone wide, and that has been just the story of Éire Óg's day. 11 wides, and one of them been as bad as the other.
I think that sums it up, Bean, to be honest. Brian Green, when he's actually gone inside and they've kicked in some good diagonal balls like that, he's been very, very dangerous. And I'd say, look, he'll just be very disappointed with himself there, but I think that could be it here.
So we have played the 3 minutes of additional time. Mark Grehan has the whistle in his mouth. And that is that. And Strokestown have won the Intermediate Football Championship in County Roscommon, sponsored by the War Brothers. 2-13 to 15 points. And really, at the end of the day, it was those goals